And they kept the idea going. That's the thing. It wasn't like they did it once and be like, that wasn't a good idea. They're like, no, let's try that again.
Well, here's a guy who paid his way through college by being the human cannonball. Hi, Michael Jankins. How are you?
You know, he probably needed to file bankruptcy.
You think
all
so?
the medical bills.
Right.
There you go. High five. You tied them together.
From practice.
That is exactly the reason that this man is here. Michael Jankins talking the world of bankruptcy and some things you can do to try to right the ship, so to speak. And some of the things that we see on TV all the time, you hear on radio all the time, you hear this little jingle about getting your credit report and get your score and things like that. And that's what we're here to talk about, Michael.
Yeah, for many people, they don't really know who they all owe money to, which I don't really find to be a great thing, but that's just the way it is. And if they're thinking about calling me or some other bankruptcy attorney, it's a good idea to know who you owe money to.
That's one of the questions you ask, I would imagine, right off the bat when people are like, hey, I need help. Well,
typically number one.
Yeah, that's one of the first things you ask, and people are like,
who do you owe? Would be the first thing out of your mouth, isn't it?
And is usually the first answer.
Uh-oh.
Can you help me find that out? And so that's what we're going to do today, help you find that out.
All right, let's do that.
So
what is it? What is a credit report? We see them on TV all the time. What are they?
Yeah, and a credit report is not a credit score. A credit score is an entirely different thing that's derived from information that's in the credit reports.
Okay.
And I don't know a lot about those credit scores. I just know 700 is really good, and above that's really, really good.
Right.
And if you're below 500, don't try to get a loan.
Okay.
Okay.
There's
there
the
you go.
basis.
Boom. That's the basis for the score.
Okay.
But let's talk report.
The Reader's Digest version.
So a credit report is really, it's just like a history book of your credit transactions. So a lot of times people think that it's just bad stuff. And it's not, unless everything you have is bad stuff, and for some people maybe. But no, it's just a history. So if you've had a car loan and you paid it off after 3, 4, 5 years, and you made all your payments on time, well, all that great credit history is showing on your credit history. Now, if you've got things you aren't paying, like medical bills that go to collections, or you had a car repossessed and that stuff shows up on your credit report. So all the things that are bad, your slow pays, if you become 30 days delinquent on your payments, 60 days, these are all different cutoff points that they essentially are grading you off your credit report. Then 90 days delinquent, and then I think the next level is charge off, which means they pretty much go, and this person's not going to pay. So it's essentially just like in collections. So those are all the little landmines that
it all
are
shows
in the credit report. It all shows up. So there's at least pluses and minuses, and that's what your credit report consists of.
So both good and bad are on the credit report, but how long are they good for, and how long do they stay on your credit report?
Well, just because people get into so many different things, they would just be so voluminous if they were just ongoing indefinitely. So they essentially cut it off after 7 years. So when somebody reports something on your credit report, a lot of the things will actually say this is going to fall off on a certain date, and the date will be usually 7 years from the date it's reported.
Okay.
Each credit item, when you actually look at your credit report, it says this is reported as of this date, and so after 7 years, that can fall off. So even if somebody owes a debt after about 7 years, it still could be collectible. It just won't appear on the credit report, and that can pose kind of a difficult situation for some people.
But that doesn't mean the debt is gone.
For some debts, no. I mean, there's a thing called the statute of limitations. It's basically a period of collection that a creditor has to sue you in court. Now, on medical bills and just general type debts of that nature, it's 5 years from the date of last payment. But on an account based on a written contract, which is a loan agreement or a credit card agreement, that's 10 years from the date of last payment. So, I mean, there's a 3-year gap from what could be showing on your credit report and falling off till the statute of limitations would run out where they could sue you.
Right.
So there are some things that you might not know that are out there if it's getting kind of old. But that's the kind of stuff that's, what a credit report is.
What about bankruptcy? Would that show up on that report if you filed?
Bankruptcy credit reports also have a section of them called public records. So the bankruptcy filings show up under the public records, and so the Chapter 7s will be on there for 10 years.
10 years.
As information available to look at. And the other things that are generally consisting of in the public records are court judgments that have been obtained against a person, and then state and federal tax liens do show up too.
Oh,
so
okay.
I found in reading all these credit reports, so the public records doesn't tend to be the most accurate, and we find many errors on the information. We've seen judgments that are paid off that still show up. We find judgments that exist that aren't showing up under the public records, and I don't know if it's because of their age. I just know that it's not something that we completely rely on. We'll check the Iowa courts online if there is judgments, just to make sure there's not other ones.
Now, say you did find something that is in error on your report. Is it very difficult to get it fixed or not?
No, each of the 3 credit reporting agencies, so there's 3 of them. There's Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. They have, if you go to those sites, you can dispute information that's on your credit reports. You can do it online. You can do it in written format. So, and it's not a very difficult process at all. I've actually helped some people do that, and it's pretty easy. So credit reports can have errors in them. So even if you're not filing bankruptcy, it's a good idea to get your credit report once a year because they're free. Now there's probably thousands of places that advertise either on television, radio, or on the internet about getting them. There's really only one place you should look to get the free credit reports. It's annualcreditreport.com, so www.annualcreditreport.com. So when you go there, you just enter your name, address, date of birth, and social security number, and then it'll ask you which reports you want. It names the 3. You just check each one, and then it'll take you one at a time to each of these credit bureaus. You have to answer questions, and if you get them the way they expect, then you can print out your report. And please print them. Don't just take a look and go, oh, this is great, because you don't get it again for a whole year. So
I was just going to ask, is this something we can look at multiple times, or just you get one shot and
you get one shot, so at the very least save it to your computer.
Now, what if you need to look at it more than one time? Do you have to pay for it to do that the second time, or they close it off? You can't do it at all.
You just don't get access again. Then you'll have to go and pay for it at their sites. You can still always pay for them.
Okay.
But
do you know what they cost? Do you have any idea?
I know if you go to Equifax, you can get a 3-in-1 report, which is a really good report. It combines all the information in the 3 credit bureaus and consolidates, and it's I think it's like about $40.
Okay.
And but it's a lot better when it's free.
You're not lying there. Okay, but I believe you have a link on your website.
Yeah.
too, right?
So if you can't remember the website, you can go to my website at www.iowa-bankruptcylaw.com, and I have a link directly to Annual Credit Report, so you can get it that way too if you want to bring those to the appointment to see me. So we got a plug in for my site.
There you go, perfect. Okay, but who needs to get these? Who needs to get a credit report? Because when they advertise it, it looks like everybody
well,
needs
as I say, you're kind of
yeah.
making it sound like we all should just take a look.
Well, it's a good idea because, again, they're free, and it's good to know what's showing up on your credit report, because if you're going to go get a loan someplace, you'd like to know that you've got to, if you have good credit, you want to make sure it's staying that way. Errors can happen on people's credit reports. People hear about identification theft,
right.
And these things will show up on credit reports. I know people subscribe to different services. I just had somebody call me over the weekend, a client of mine, on their phone, and they have an app that notifies them and alerts them if there's crazy things happening on their credit, and somebody somehow stole her identity, and all of a sudden a bunch of charges were showing up in California, and people were trying to get access to her account, and so it alerted her. But you can find things that just seem off in your credit report and at least dispute those, or you can also find out if someone somehow just gotten your credit card number and been doing crazy things with it. So it's just a good idea. Then you can see if there's some things that are irregular. You can go investigate those and then dispute them if they're just wrong. Sometimes wrong stuff just shows up on the wrong credit report. So it's a good idea. And then just if you are thinking about filing bankruptcy, or you're just not sure anymore who you owe money to, that's where you go find it. There really is no other place that you can find the information if you've not kept it yourself. So I from time to time will check my own. It's been quite a while, but yeah, it's nice to just see everything's what you think. So
right.
It's something that everybody should do.
There you go. Perfect. And if you have
Sounds
any
good.
questions about this or anything else you want to get a hold of Michael about, here is how you do so. Just jump online and visit him, iowa-bankruptcylaw.com, or give him a call, 255-1855 is his number. Go visit him over on 2nd Avenue. Perfect. Well done there, Michael.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We will be right back. It is 8:51. This is CW Iowa Live.